On November 2, 2025, Huawei executed a move that altered the global technology balance. They quietly released two desktop computers that most Western media completely ignored. These new devices, the Chingyun W515Y and W585Y, are not ordinary product refreshes. These machines are powered by Huawei's own Kirin 9000X processor, run on completely Chinese-developed operating systems, and achieve something that was supposed to be impossible under the weight of American sanctions. The dual desktop launch represents the near completion of a domestic computing ecosystem assembled under heavy export restrictions. Huawei delivered a working system that doesn't need a single American component to function. Let that sink in for a moment. The technical milestone is not symbolic. The two Chingyun desktops are now being delivered to government ministries, state-owned enterprises, and institutional buyers across China. These are production machines being sold to government agencies and enterprises across the world's second-largest economy right now. But how did we get here? The development is rooted in the U.S. strategy initiated years earlier. Washington believed that restrictions on chip manufacturing, EDA tools, and American-origin software would block Huawei from advancing its computing platforms. By cutting access to TSMC's fabrication nodes, ASML's lithography tools, and American chip designers, policymakers assumed Huawei would gradually fade from the high-performance computer market. That bet is failing. The Kirin 9000X inside these machines operates with 8 cores, 12 threads, and clock speeds of 2.5 GHz. On paper, these specifications might not seem revolutionary. The performance measurement, however, is secondary to the fact that Huawei designed, packaged, integrated, and deployed the chip under an international technology blockade. Prior to sanctions, Huawei depended on foreign fabs to produce its advanced chip designs. They designed processors, sure, but they had to send those designs to companies like TSMC in Taiwan to actually fabricate them. When Washington intervened in 2020 and halted TSMC's cooperation, analysts predicted the end of Huawei's advanced silicon ambitions. When the United States convinced TSMC to stop manufacturing chips for Huawei in 2020, it was supposed to be a death sentence. Manufacturing constraints were tremendous. Advanced fabrication relies on equipment from ASML, Applied Materials, Lam Research, and other suppliers, forming a Western-controlled technological ladder. Yet, Huawei restructured its supply chain, utilized Chinese-owned fabs, built additional software layers, and created full-stack systems that operate entirely within domestic industrial control. The two desktop models highlight this shift in operating platforms. The Chingyun desktops don't run Windows. They don't use macOS or any major American software suite. Instead, they ship with two indigenous systems, Tongsun UOS V20 and Galaxy Kirin KOS V10. For most people outside China, these names mean nothing, but their purpose is central to the national digital independence effort. Tongsun UOS is built on Linux, but the interface, security modules, and application layers have been optimized for Chinese government requirements. Galaxy Kirin KOS, developed internally by Huawei, is designed for compatibility with Kirin processors and Huawei's software ecosystem. Both systems can run Chinese-developed office software, communications tools, and enterprise applications. This guarantees that essential digital tools, from document editing to government communications, no longer depend on Western software dominance. Microsoft Windows runs on roughly 70% of desktop computers worldwide. But the migration of a market with over 1.4 billion people dramatically shifts the software landscape, reducing American leverage in international technology controls. The process accelerates the fragmentation of global computing into two separate ecosystems. Huawei's product design reflects the needs of its intended market. The front panel includes USB-C, USB-A, and a combination audio jack. The back panel provides 4 USB 3.2 ports, an Ethernet port supporting 10 Mbps to 1 Gbps, VGA, HDMI, multiple audio jacks, and a dedicated power connector. That VGA port is particularly telling. Government agencies worldwide still rely on aging monitors, projectors, and hardware systems that use VGA, so Huawei preserved backward compatibility to meet practical institutional requirements. These features align with Huawei's institutional market strategy that began expanding after 2023 with the commercial Huawei Cloud brand targeting government and enterprise buyers. The supply chain achievement behind these systems is equally significant. The earlier L420X desktop model reached a localization rate of 98.4%. Nearly every single component inside that computer was designed and manufactured within China's borders without relying on American or European suppliers. Wireless connectivity further demonstrates the shift. The Wi-Fi modules are entirely Huawei designed and manufactured. Instead of relying on suppliers like Intel, Qualcomm, or Broadcom, Huawei integrated wireless engineering and RF design entirely in-house. The integrated GPU cores, memory controllers, and system management units also originated from Chinese research teams, indicating full-stack semiconductor capability. This is the scenario US policymakers attempted to prevent when sanctions were expanded. The sanctions were based on the assumption that China could not replicate highly specialized technologies. If that assumption was flawed, then the United States may have inadvertently accelerated exactly the outcome it was trying to prevent. That outcome is a self-sufficient Chinese technology ecosystem capable of building advanced computing products without Western authorization. The timing of Huawei's desktop release coincides with major structural changes in China's technology procurement system. Xinchuang initiatives mandate replacing foreign technology in government networks with secure domestic alternatives. This policy increases demand for Chinese-made servers, desktops, printers, and software platforms. Huawei's Chingyun desktops arrive precisely positioned to capture this massive institutional market. These devices are not intended for gaming, creative design, or consumer-level high-performance workloads. They are optimized for essential administrative functions, document processing, database management, communication tools, and routine governmental operations. The operating systems represent a crucial pillar of the initiative. Tongsun UOS and Galaxy Kirin KOS aren't simply Chinese versions of Windows with the interface translated. They were engineered to satisfy governmental security certifications involving encryption standards, access control frameworks, and audit logs. The rationale behind these requirements stems from strategic security concerns. Dependency on foreign software creates unacceptable vulnerabilities. Chinese policymakers saw repeated examples of US technology restrictions leveraging Western software dominance. The United States has demonstrated repeatedly that it views technology as a tool of statecraft. Therefore, transitioning to self-controlled operating systems is framed as a strategic necessity. The early market results illustrate the success of Huawei's approach. While Huawei has not released exact unit shipment numbers, industry observers note that Huawei's commercial computing division has been growing rapidly since the formal launch of the Huawei Cloud commercial brand in 2023. This ecosystem includes desktops, laptops, printers, tablets, wearables, and smart displays, all optimized for institutional use and domestic compliance standards. Each installation expands the domestic technology environment by requiring compatible software, drivers, and IT support structures. Each component pulls in more domestic technology and makes the ecosystem stickier, more difficult to reverse, even if political winds were to shift. The global impact widened further when Beijing prohibited foreign processors in government systems. Beijing has slammed the door shut on foreign processors in its government systems, effectively cutting off Intel and AMD overnight. Before this transition, Intel derived 27% of its global revenue from China, with a substantial portion coming from government contracts. These revenues have now dropped sharply. The shift is reinforced by advancements from Chinese semiconductor manufacturer SMIC, which developed production approaches comparable to 7-nanometer class nodes using older equipment. Despite being cut off from ASML's advanced chip-making machines, Chinese companies like SMIC managed to achieve what Western experts swore was impossible. Through engineering iterations, domestic firms demonstrated scalable chip manufacturing even under export constraints, expanding China's technological independence. The combined effect of Huawei's indigenous desktop platforms, China's shift to domestic processors, and growing self-sufficiency across the semiconductor value chain signals a major structural shift in global technology competition. The developments point to a fully functional computing ecosystem constructed under high-pressure conditions, with manufacturing, software, and hardware integration sourced almost entirely within Chinese borders. American sanctions, designed to cripple Huawei's technological advancement, may have instead catalyzed the creation of an entirely independent Chinese computing ecosystem. The question now becomes, can Western technology companies maintain their global dominance in a world splitting into two incompatible technological spheres? What do you think? Did the US sanctions backfire, or is this just the beginning of a longer technological Cold War? Drop your thoughts in the comments below, and if you found this analysis valuable, hit that subscribe button to stay informed on the biggest shifts in global technology.